Oh, look, same macaroni.
We do. Hey, I'm Natalie Kim. You're watching It's a Draw. We're here with Kathryn Kates. Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
That's fun.
You may recognize Kathryn from Seinfeld or Orange is the New Black, and she is here, and we are very excited to have her here. So, Kathryn, the way that it works is we choose from Twitter and Facebook, and you're the guest, so you choose. Macaroni Cyborg by Sketch Williams. What? All right, Kathryn.
Yep.
Are you ready for your Macaroni Cyborg?
I think so.
3, 2, 1, draw! All right, God help us with this. Yay. All right, Kathryn. You are on the hottest show, Orange is the New Black. How is it being on that set?
It's very interesting because I'm actually not on the set because everybody's in prison except me. So far I've not been on the set, but it's a lot of fun. I know an awful lot of people who are working on the show, so I get to hear about it. And but I work on location. Our apartment, we play the parents of Jason Biggs, and Jason's apartment's in Brooklyn, and our apartment's on the Upper East Side.
When you go on set, or when you're working on a play, do you walk in, okay, this is a collaborative effort, or this is like, bring it, everybody, you know, like what are your thoughts on being?
I am so happy to be on a set. I am so happy to be working and think I'm so lucky to have a job that the last thing in the world I do is say bring it on. It's, you know, where do I stand and where do I go and what do I do? I mean, it's really all fun, and certainly with TV and film, there's not a whole lot of room for fooling around. I mean, it's a lot of very intense work and an awful lot of people working really hard to get the day done. A little bit different in theater when you have time to play with each other.
Right. You gotta have a lot of stamina to do TV. Like, how do you keep in shape?
I actually work out at Chelsea Piers, and I do 2 miles every morning just to sort of, but you're absolutely right. I think all actors need to keep in shape.
Yeah. Right. So how do you keep your craft exciting and fresh for you?
You know, I audition so much and I work so much that I I say yes to everybody. You know, they're paying 25 cents, great, I'm there, I'll do it. I literally say yes to everybody for just about everything that I'm offered when I can. So like next week I'm doing 2 readings and I have 2 auditions that I know about. So that's a lot, you know.
Yes.
Because I just finished on the 27th, I finished doing a play, and so I have time to do other stuff. Which is what keeps me going and makes me happy, and so that's what I do.
Have you ever done voice work for animation?
You know, I haven't, and I should. I do voiceover work. Matt Damon did a commercial for, I think it was MoveOn.org, and I had to be his voice. So it was like Matt Damon spoke, and then 5 different people their voice came out of what he was. So that I was in the studio with Matt Damon. He was on tape. And I had to match my voice exactly to what he was saying. So I got to work with Matt Damon.
Did you get to mess up a little bit and just hang out with Matt Damon a little bit more?
No.
You wouldn't do that.
No, but I mean, it was, you know, an image of Matt Damon. It wasn't like he was there.
Oh, I see.
Right.
What a loser I am. Do you feel there's a difference between doing comedy and drama?
Oh, yes.
Thank you for saying that.
Oh, yes. I think there's an enormous difference between, I think anybody can do drama. I think very few people can do comedy well. It's incredibly difficult, and it's one of those things where you kind of either have it or you don't. I don't know that you can learn timing. I guess you can, but there are things I think that come innately to people who do comedy. And
you're saying that you think comedy is harder than drama?
Yes.
Wow.
I do. Much. I mean, because it either works or it doesn't, and it's very apparent with comedy with you. Here's a really good example. Working on Seinfeld, these guys, Seinfeld worked because it was Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David, and nobody else really touched the scripts. Nobody else really fooled around with anything. On most sitcoms, you get in there on a Monday morning and everybody sits around for a table read, and then the next morning you got a new script delivered to your house. It wasn't like that on that show. On that show, we came in and we did a table read. We went home. We came in the next day. It was exactly the same script. And Larry would walk over and go, okay, try this line here. And Jerry, it doesn't really work. And it was really the two of them all the time. I didn't see a director until they came in with the cameras. So it was really quite a wonderful experience.
So they're kind of the bosses, the directors.
Correct.
In that case, is
correct.
Not the leader. Right.
They took care of everything, and it was their show. And I think that's why the show had that incredible look that it had. I think that's why the show worked the way it worked. It was just them.
So this is somewhat personal.
Yes.
How was it growing up having a mother as an actress?
Difficult. Very, very difficult. She started doing this later in her life. She was actually a fantastic actor. I remember the first time I saw my mother on stage and I looked and I thought, butter. It was like watching butter melt. She was so good and so focused, and it was her passion. And it was her passion, and that really what she should have been an actor, and she probably didn't really need to have 3 children and live in the suburbs and have a house and all of that. So it was a challenge.
Do you believe that you have to suffer to be a great actress? Is that a myth?
I know an awful lot of people who don't, so I guess it's a myth. I do, but that's me. But I think there's a lot of people. Mine is a girl cyborg. You think that matters?
No, it's fabulous.
Good.
I don't know what mine is. So what's it like being a member of the Rising Phoenix Rep? How do you
Rising
like that?
Phoenix Rep is a theater. You know, I was not only a member of. I was one of the founders of the theater in LA, and for many years of my life, I was consumed with that and loved it. And when I came to New York, I didn't have the stamina or the desire or anything to start another theater company. And one of the very first plays I did, I worked with Daniel Talbot, who is the founder of Rise and Phoenix Rep. And I think I did 2 shows with them, and then they invited me to join the company. They're a very edgy, brilliant, amazing group of people who work all the time. One of the venues they work out of, I mean, now they've expanded and they've done off-Broadway shows and they've done shows in LA. But for several years we were working out of really a bar on the Lower East Side called Jimmy's 43.
How edgy can you get?
Yeah. And I did a play on the floor of a bar room. There was a back room where there were tables and they got moved aside and a little piece of a stage, and I think for one of the plays there were 13 seats and that was it. Nobody else could see the show. So if you weren't one of the 13, you didn't get to see the show. And that's what they do. They do amazing work wherever they have to do it. I did another play with them in a church, Lower Manhattan. So it's amazing people.
Okay, is there a role right now that you would love to play?
Yes.
Do tell.
Yes. I just sang for Madame Marble. I think they're holding auditions for the Broadway production, for replacements, and for the first national tour, for whatever it is they are having. Anyway, they called me in, and I haven't heard anything yet, but I kind of fall in love with stuff. Like if you ask me what my favorite role is, I'll tell you probably it was the last role that I did, because that's just sort of what happens, is I tend to fall in love with things. And so working on Madame Marble for the audition, I really started falling in love with it, which is something I try not to do, because then when you don't get it, you're horribly upset.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh. Yes, you do.
I found it very courageous of you to pick up and move from LA to New York when you didn't have any contacts here, aside from your family. Like, you started from scratch. What was that like for you?
Horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. I got here. It was a very sudden decision. It was a difficult split, and he wanted to stay in LA and keep the house, and I couldn't really afford to continue living on both coasts. And had to make a decision. I had to move to one place or another. So I opted to move to New York. I had, my brother was here, and my nephew was, they were important parts of my decision. So I got here, and I think I stayed in bed with the covers over my head for 2 months. Until I could actually wake up and go out and try to find an agent, and all of that happened. So by the time I got out of bed and stopped crying and realized I was here, I got my first job, and I haven't stopped working.
That's wonderful.
I know.
That's a great story. Kathryn, do you have any advice for actors? Because you've seen it all, I feel.
My real advice, run. But if you can't run, if this is really what you have to do with your life, keep at it. Just keep at it. It's very funny you're asking this question. The play that I just closed it was called Philip Goes Forth. It's a very interesting play by a writer named George Kelly. And when I first read the script, I didn't want to do it, because the part I was reading for is the woman who tells this young boy that he's not a writer and he shouldn't be involved in theater and he should go home. And I thought, oh my God, this woman is crushing his dreams. How can I possibly play this role? And yet I found in doing the play that I could crush his dreams. That he needed somebody to tell him, really, you shouldn't do this. And I don't know that young actors need to hear somebody tell them you shouldn't do this. I think it's probably wise to say, if there's anything else you can do, do it. But it's a fantastic and wonderful and rewarding thing to do with your life. And I think those of us who choose this life are special and should keep going.
Kathryn Kates is making me cry. Good for you, Kathryn. Thank you. You've been a wonderful guest.
I haven't cursed. I'm so annoyed with myself.
So I think we're done with our drawings.
So here's my girl cyborg. Do we have to hold it?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a Macaroni Cyborg. Thank you, Sketch Williams, for that suggestion. Thank you, Kathryn Kates. You are just lovely.
Thank
And
you.
This was such a wonderful interview. Tell me about your girl. She's alive or dead or what?
Oh, she's living. She's living, and she's got a problem with her hair. Because she's got these macaroni arms and she can't really do anything with it. And she's Jewish. That's it. Then do I sign it now?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's sign it. My guy, he's a macaroni head. He's in the desert. He doesn't speak English too well. We are all over.
Ooh, that's very deep.
Oh yes, please subscribe, leave a comment, like us. Thank you so much for watching It's a Draw. I'm Natalie Kim with Kathryn Kates.
Bye.